Coach Kevin here for Forge Legend, talking to you today about what you create with your mind, what's real in your life and what's not. So behind me, you see a beautiful scene, beautiful river. I want you to look really, really close, like squint in, like look and see what you see. Because there's some unseen things that if you look really, really close, you can see. What do you see? Not sure if you see ducks. I'm not sure if you see the other bank. Maybe you see some industrial stuff. Maybe you see some beautiful nature. There's all of that, right? See some waves, you see the sun glinting off of the water. There's actually a line out there. I don't know if you can see it. There's a line. It's very distinct, very well-defined line. And on one side of the line, you're in Indiana, and on the other side of the line, you're in Kentucky. On one side of the line, a certain sheriff department would arrest you, and on the other side, a different one would. On one side of the line, you have one tax rate, and on the other side of the line, you have a different tax rate. There is literally an imaginary line in the water. I can't see it. I'm right here. I'm a lot closer than you are. In fact, if I swam out there and swam all the way to the bottom, I still couldn't see it. Why? Because it was the construct of someone's mind. Someone in their mind said, hey, this is the line between Kentucky and Indiana. And we have different laws and we're different states and we have different constructs that we live our lives by. We're all American, but we're very different. One of them decided to call themselves Hoosiers. The other ones, I think they're like Kentuckians. I don't know what you call a Kentuckian. I just know that I'm standing here. So you got Hoosiers and Kentuckians all divided by an imaginary line in the water. Here's the cool thing. Imagine, like, go ahead in your mind's eye. You can do this, right? It's amazing. Fly up over the river and look down and see that line in the middle of the water, except for you would be totally wrong because this particular line, for whatever reason, is 2/3 of the way one direction. And I actually don't even know which way it is because I don't remember, even though they just told me. Because it makes no sense, but that's what it is. The imaginary line inside of the river is 2/3 of the way towards one state. You guys, maybe someone's gonna I can see the comments already that I'm off, but here's the deal. Someone made up this. Someone had an idea. Someone had a thought, and then a group of people had that thought together. They imagined it together, and it became reality. So in your life, what you think is very, very real, and yet at the same time, it's imagined and not real at all. The way you think about yourself will create yourself. The way you think about your relationships creates your relationships. The way you think about your finances creates your finances. The way you think about your connection with God or divinity creates your connection with God and divinity. The way you think about your body creates your body. Your thoughts, your mind is a powerful tool for creating yourself unless you get stuck in victim. Unless you become a pathetic soul who thinks that everything happens to you. Because here's the crazy thing, if that's what you think, if you think that forces of nature act on you and that controls your life, you're right. You're right. If you have a victim mentality that things happen to you and that's what creates your life, you're absolutely right. But if you have a creator's mentality that you are a force of nature, not the only force of nature, but a force of nature to be reckoned with, you're also right. If you have the creator's mentality that you create your life, no matter the circumstances, no matter what happens, then you're right. It is a choice that you make because the mind creates. The mind creates the environment that then the body follows. The mind creates a set of circumstances and rules that then life follows and becomes. Before there was ever a line in this river, before any of that existed, it was just vast expanse of land with the river. And at one point in some time, someone imagined a line and said, man, this is Indiana on this side. And maybe it was someone else, or maybe it was the same person. This is Kentucky on that side. And today, not only is that true for that person, but for the whole world. You can get any map anywhere in the world of the United States and you'll see that line. Incidentally, probably the line is the whole river. They don't do the cool 2/3 thing. That's something for cops to argue about. That line became reality, not just for the person who thought it, but for every human being on the earth. And even if you don't know about the line, but you do something to get in trouble on one side or the other, or you make a bunch of money, that tax authority from that side of the line is coming after you, or that police force on that side of the line is coming after you, because what started in someone's mind has now not only become their reality, but become reality for the whole world. And it's the same for you. This is why we talk about living legend. This is why we talk about forging the legend of our life. We allow our mind to create the person that we demand to be. We allow our mind to create the best possible version of ourselves, and then we take actions to back it up again and again and again. Every single day, living worthy of that legend, understanding that legend is what other people say about you, not what you say about yourself. We are not talking about legacy. This is not something cheap. This is not something that you have only to die for. This is legend. This is what other people say. This is what carries on. Whoever it was that drew that line, legend. We all live with the legacy of that decision. What will your legend be? Are you living it? Are you even living possible of someone saying anything about you after you die? If you want to, you're going to have to do the hard work worth doing in your lives. I'm living my legend. I'm a force of nature. I'd love to show you how.